Hello everyone, welcome to the channel, and this time we are going to repair a two-door refrigerator or wardrobe type in this case because the brand is indifferent since the same fault happens to quite a type of similar refrigerator on the side of the refrigerator cools quite well from the side of the freezer as well. Then you are going to say what the fault is because it is generating a lot of ice in the part of the door but in the front part of the side of the freezer. Right now we are going to see where in all this part it is generating quite a lot of ice. They already came. Check it and it continues to generate enough ice. Right now they had already cleaned it, so it can be said that it has little, but that also causes that if they use the ice the entire volume of ice sticks. Look to the back, all this is generating ice in excess. Well, here the main fault we have is because air is entering, so it is because if it were in the back in the part of the refrigerator where he goes now, all the electrical parts or the cooling system where the evaporator goes there, we would have a problem with the bimetal, but as we can see in the back we have nothing, no ice, so all this part is working well. They came to change bimetal, they changed this diffuser motor and it has not been so. These are failures that are very simple to fix, but that not just anyone. Then the fault that it has is that practically the part of the ice dispenser already has a fault, the solenoid from there already has a fault, so we are going to see right now how to disassemble and everything so that you can see exactly what are we going to do. Remember that, look, in this part of here it should always be closed. Remember that it should always be closed, and look, we managed to see my hand at the bottom. We can also see that it is open, so that means that it is already closed. Duct, then air is entering and all that air that enters has humidity, so when air enters or cold escapes, all that air that is there is cross that is on that path because the humidity of that air freezes, then it is the ice that is generating more. Here the solution, which is to change the solenoid that goes in this part. The solenoid is quite economical. The detail that here the customer tells me he is going to go on vacation and right now he just needs to leave him something because the solution and that they don't use ice, so in this case we are going to work. I am going to disassemble everything so that you can see here so easy it is just pushing the piece so that it closes. But well, we are going to see we disconnect the fridge right now. We remove the card, it is removed quite easily too. The back does not have screws, it only has staples. Remember, the refrigerator is already disconnected. Now we remove the wiring that goes in this part and we remove the 4 screws. Remember that you can follow me on Facebook, which is on the page, our registration. There I can follow us and you can follow us. I can comment a little more on your doubts, a little more in depth, since he can send me a short video, photos or some audio, then there I can advise you a little better. Also remember to subscribe, like and comment if you have any questions, and don't forget to like, since that positions us a little better and then our video more seen. Well, now when we are going to remove this, remember that all this spare part that is handled, I can also handle it. I can handle it, but you can get it wherever you want. A spare parts in this case are quite cheap, repair costing between 300 to 500 pesos, but it solves all this problem when enough things have already changed and it has not been good. Well, look here, we can see that it is practically already open. This part is glued. This part should only be opened when it sends a signal. The solenoid and the solenoid, I mean when they send signal to the solenoid when the solenoid has energized, is because they are going to lower ice, so practically this is only used for ice. Look here, we can see this is the solenoid and the one on the right side, what happens, this is the what does that only when activated. In this case it remained activated. When activated it opens the lid and when de-energizing closes the lid. The detail that right now this part is already quite rusty, and there are also 2 things. There are times that it only comes to get rid and you can adjust here and everything, but in this case if it is already bad enough right now I am going to remove it. But here look, then adjusting it and bring a screw to nothing else, loosening it a little bit comes to loosen what is the door. And if you can't do a cleaning and check the plastics that are not broken, because sometimes that the plastics break also. Look, you saw here the lid has already been loosened and closes already in theory, so I could leave it for what happens to the client, but at the end of the day I will try to give a cleaning for you to see and everything. I am not expensive, but it is not very common, so I do not bring it on the hour. So in my tool and nothing, I do not bring the solenoid that I always bring spare of every device that I am going to see, but in This case was not what I expected it to be, so it was something quite strange to find this fridge. That's why I'm recording it. And look, this is the solenoid. It is the only thing it does is, as I tell you, activate, lower and raise the bolt that goes in the center. Do this, boom boom, and that's it. Right now, as we can see, it is already quite rusty. As it is quite rusty, if I try to sand it, also the diameter will reduce and that will cause it to stick, which instead of doing its job, the coil will paste and it will buzz. Then here I am going to try to give it a cleaning, but it is difficult for it to be there. It is usually also painted and everything, but well, right now, as I tell you, I am just going to do it that fast so that you can do it. Go see here. Excuse me for the fact that I made the recording vertically, but well, let's assemble right now. And to assemble it is quite easy. In the part of the bolt, it is put in this back part, which is like a little fingernail. You can put it like this or another way there. If it's up to each person's tastes, or you can put it directly with the solenoid. I put it first there, look there, and that's it. And right now I put the solenoid so that I don't forget to fix the plastic later, because it becomes quite tedious if not. I put it then, look here, we can see that it's just putting it like this. It brings a single screw, and here, as you can see, look, this is the function that it does. It energizes, it de-energizes, it energizes, and so every time you open the ice, right now it's a little calmer in the voice because I'm a little bad in my throat, but well enough to assemble because we just have to put the 4 screws the same. Remember not to put glue or anything because I have had a lot of technician or people who want to repair their things break the pieces and put it glue. Then when one goes then disassemble it cannot and the pieces break, then avoid that so that it always remains a good work. And look, as we can see here, it is already practically already assembled and the lid only goes to the front or nothing more. It is going to press. In fact, you hear the thundering to see if we can put it on right now, and you hear the quite notorious thundering that is already on that. And here, as we can see, practically this is already there. You will see that it is practically already closed. But that at the end of the day does not work. For it to work, if you have to change this solenoid, as I say, it is not expensive, but at the end of the day, and the client does not authorize it because you cannot do it here, open and it stays stuck, so you have it to close manual. Then in the end, when I am going to disable it right now, I just showed you how to do all the change, but I am going to disarm it again and practically leave it without power so that it is totally closed all the time. And well, remember to subscribe, like, comment, share, and also have any questions or suggestions, let me know. And that's it. See you until next time. Ciao.